Hi guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to do a quick video regarding the Atlas of the Worlds, what passive skill to add, and my opinions and favorite maps to run. So basically the best maps that I felt that you should be running. Okay, so the contents will be firstly, I think some of you have actually asked how do I actually sustain my maps. This is actually a very common question. I think there are actually many streamers that said this as well. Not sure if anybody did follow them, but I shall just do a quick or brief introduction regarding this, and the rest of the contents will be basically all the passive skill points. Okay, so let's begin by mentioning how do you sustain your maps. Honestly, it's really very simple. Just alchemy your maps. It actually gives a good amount of quantity and quality to it. If there's just too many damage mods, just reroll them. Otherwise you will randomly die without knowing what killed you. I have this happen a few times, and yeah, it's a little mistake here and there. So if you see that there's actually too many or multiple damage mods, just reroll them. And remember to use Orb of Scoring and Alchemy again instead of Chaos Orb, unless you are feeling rich. Yeah. And the second will be clear your maps as much as possible. Of course, not 100%, but around at least 90%. Like, I'm not expecting you to clear until there are 0 monsters left in the map. That is quite ridiculous. You're not going to waste all the time just to find that 1, 2 or 3 monsters left in some corner of the map. So yeah, every time you clear as much as possible on the map, it gives you more chances that another map of the same tier or higher tier will drop. So yeah, like I mentioned, do not just purposely walk back just to clear a pack of monsters. It is really not worth it. Just go for the efficiency, run until the end of the map, do your boss, open a portal, and just hop on to the next map. Okay, the third will be you can actually use the sacrifice fragments or scarabs for more juicy maps. When I say juicy maps, it doesn't mean like extremely juicy, like 100% delirium. No, it's just trying to get more chance for you to drop the same tier or higher tier maps. So yeah, you can actually use the cartography scarabs to improve the map drop, but honestly I don't think this is actually needed. Good if you have. And use the sacrifice fragments if you have a lot of spare ones, because each of them will improve 5% quantity of items drop. So my opinion on this is actually if you realize that you are starting to run out of maps, you can start using your spare sacrifice fragments to keep the map going. And the last one, you can always use sextants to spawn more packs of monsters. I think this is very important, and not a lot of people actually make use of this. Yeah, like I mentioned here, even the simple sextant is a good and cheap alternative. Whenever you have, just use it. It is not expensive. It's better than actually not getting a map and you have to buy those high tier maps. It's technically way more expensive. Okay, so moving along to the different region of our passive skills. Before I start, just for your information, this will be only emphasizing on the 5 skills that I feel it is the most valuable. So by any means, if you are not convinced or whatsoever, you can always just change it on your own. Yeah. Okay, so let's begin with Haewark Hamlet. There's actually 5 here. The first one is the growth core, which areas have 10% chance to contain the sacred growth. Not really important. Harvest wild fruit, where harvest crops in areas have 100% chance to contain a tier 4 plant. Nature's favor, plants harvested in areas are more likely to give less common crafting options. So this part of the harvest is actually not bad if you need some harvest crafting on your jewels, or probably reroll some of your items with energy shield or whatsoever. I'm just giving some example. So yeah, here is not bad. And then the remaining two, you can take the Sacred Lands, where areas have 10% chance to contain ritual altars, and Paid in Blood, where ritual altars in areas allow rerolling favors 2 additional time. Not really important, but then the important one is here, 100% increased chance of ritual altars with special rewards. So actually I felt that ritual is not a bad choice over here. Yep. So this is my personal skill choice from Ascending Order. You can have a look. Okay, moving along, now is turn Zen. So for turn Zen, the good ones are Trespasser, where area contains an additional invasion bosses. Exotic goods, invasion bosses in areas drop 1 additional valuable item that which you seek. Areas have 10% chance to contain a Mirror of Delirium. This is not really important actually. So yeah, the next one will be big game. Red beasts in areas have 15% chance to appear in pairs. Yellow beasts in areas have 15% chance to replace with red beasts. And the last one will be Great Migration. Areas with Inha missions have 10% chance to contain additional packs of beasts instead of other monsters. So this region is more of a beast farming if you were to ask me. It is not the best, but it is not the worst either. It's somewhere in the middle. For those of you that felt bored if you are constantly farming the other regions. Yep. Okay, next we have Glennach Cairns. The first one will be Scent of Blood. Slaying enemies close together have a chance to attract monsters from beyond. And then we have Thornvale. There will be a powerful Beyond demons that require 1 fewer portal to summon. And each Beyond portal in areas have 50% increased merging radius. So basically these 2 nodes will help you to spawn more Beyond monsters. And the next one will be here, Twice Tempted. Areas contain an additional Strongbox. And Strongbox in areas have 10% chance to open a second time. This is quite rare, but it does happen. Yep. And Tamper-proof. Strongboxes in areas are corrupted, and they are at least a rare tier. This is actually very good. I think most people from 3.13 are also taking this in the previous league. Yeah. And the last one, I actually took resource reallocation. There really isn't much thing to take over here after the nerf, but yeah, you can either take resource reallocation or take the second Beyond mod. That's fine as well. But yeah, for this area, it's actually a lot of divine orb farming if you were to ask me. I think that this streamer called Path of Matthew, he actually did shown this as well. You actually use the Prophecy Monstrous Treasure, where in fact all the monsters in the map will be in your strong boxes. But honestly, if you to ask me, in this area I would say is more of a gamble than a valuable map to run, because firstly, Monstrous Treasure is very expensive. The last I checked, it was about 35 to 40 chaos per prophecy. Like how many divine orbs are you gonna get from the 6 links in the strong boxes? Well, I don't know. I personally ran 1 to 2 times and I didn't really get a lot, so it's really more of a RNG if you were to ask me. Yep. Okay, next we have new Vastir. The first one will be Protracted Battle for Legion encounters, and yeah, they will have 50% increased duration. The stasis Legion monsters will actually take 50% increase more damage. And then we have War Supplies, where Legion areas contain an additional Warhawk. Emblematic Timeless Splinters drop in areas have 1% chance to drop as Timeless emblems instead. The next one will be Total Anarchy. Areas have 10% chance to contain 20 additional Rook Exiles. Rook Exiles are not bad, but yeah, okay, never mind. Let's continue on. Rogue Trader. While Rook Exiles in areas have 50% to have additional rewards, and they have 100% more life. So if you were to ask me, this area in short is just a waste of time. It is really very bad now. Like I don't even know what are you trying to aim for in here. I mean, these are the nodes that I personally think are the better ones, but this region is like at the bottom of the list for me. It is just so bad that I don't even see any value in it. Like, let's say for emblematic, 1% chance to drop as timeless emblems. Am I going to run like 100 maps to get one timeless emblem? I think that's ridiculous. That 100 maps that I run in other areas is going to be way valuable than New Vastir instead. Yep. Okay, so here we have Lex Ejoris. The first one will be Pathological, where maps in areas have 5% chance to have layers of delirium. So the normal one, the path to go through. Next will be Persecutory Delusion, where the delirium encounters in areas are 100% more likely to spawn a unique boss, and the boss will have 100% increased simulacrum splinters plus 100% increased chance to drop a unique cluster jewel. Now this is actually quite good, because if you really do manage to get some of the unique cluster jewels, they are actually quite expensive. Like they are sold in multiple exalts or something, just unidentified. Yeah, the next will be our Compulsive Hoarder. Delirium encounters in area have 10% chance to generate 3 additional reward types. This is also very good, because in situations where you actually encounter the currency, or let's say blight, or what's the last one, the scarabs. Yeah, scarabs. You actually have a great value in this delirium encounter. Yeah, and the fourth one will be Time and Again. Your Alva missions in area grant 100% increased favor, 10% chance to grant an additional Alva mission on completion. Nothing much to say here. This is just chance to run your Alva missions again on the delirium map. And the last one is Time Dilation. Basically you get double the time and just more time to kill the monsters in the areas, because delirium encounters in Alva is actually quite painful, and it is quite tanky as well. So yeah, overall I think this area is one of the best farming areas as well, because the cluster jewels are just so expensive at the start of the league, or the first few weeks of the league. Yeah, overall it's just awesome to farm over here. Okay, next we have Lex Proxima. The first one will be Gatekeepers. Breach in area have 100% chance to contain a boss, and breach in areas drop double breach splinters. The bosses defeated have a 5% chance to drop a bridgestone. So bear in mind that this 100% increased chance to contain a boss doesn't mean the boss will 100% appear. It just gives you 100% more chance that the boss will appear. It is not a guaranteed. Okay, so yeah, next, within their grabs, the boss defeated have 5% chance, additional chance again, to drop a bridgestone, and the bridgestone dropped by the bosses have 9% chance to be charged, 3% chance to be enriched, and 1% chance to be pure. Okay, so the next will be Invading Force. A 30% increased area effect on the breaches, 30% increased monster density, 50% increased experience. And the last two I took was Bumper Crop for Harvest and Heart of Growth, where the Harvest bosses will always drop a Sacred Blossom, and there will be a 10% chance for Unchosen Crop to not wield. So in my own opinion, this region is also very bad. It's equally as bad as New Vastir. Firstly, the breaches are bad because most of the breach are valuable. Most of the valuable breaches are pure, and like 1% chance to be pure. Am I going to run like 100 Lex Proxima maps again? And not only that, there is you have to use the scarab to spawn these breaches. There is no mods here that actually significantly increase the breach chance of spawning. Yeah, plus harvest farming is actually very bad here as well. Like if I want to harvest farm, I might as well just go to Haewark Hamlet and farm for harvest. So yeah, there's really no point in farming this area. It's quite a waste of time. Yep. Okay, Valdo's Rest. The first one will be Outbreak, 10% chance to contain a Black Encounter. Next will be Black Titans. Black bosses in areas drop an additional anointed jewelry item, and the encounters in areas contain up to 2 black bosses. So the next one will be Mass Mausoleum. Black encounters in areas are more likely to contain multiple lanes, and lanes of black encounters in areas have 50% chance for an additional reward chest. Okay, let's just finish this first. The Ominous Arrival areas contain an additional Harbinger. Diplomatic Escort, our previous favorite, have actually changed to Harbinger in areas have 30% chance to be replaced by a powerful Harbinger boss. So opinions, this area is equally bad as well. Ever since they did changes to this Diplomatic Escort, I really don't see any reason to run this area anymore. Like for blight farming, Lira Arthain, which I will show later, has way better blight farming passive skills, and the Harbinger in this map is just bad already. Like even if you have a chance to spawn the 30% chance to spawn the boss, it just drops a few more ancient shard and chaos shard. Like if you get lucky enough, probably some exalt shard, but honestly it's just a waste of time because the boss needs a very long time to kill, as it will spawn multiple waves of monsters, and it is not something that is done in like probably 10 to 20 seconds. So yeah, by the time the boss spawns finish and is dead, I think you could have probably just run another map by itself already. Okay, the last one, Lira Arthain. First passive will be Spores on the Wind. Maps found in areas have 5% chance to have an area contains an additional blight encounter. So not bad to have this mod. And Epidemiology. Blight chests in areas have 100% more chance to contain blighted maps, and they will be anointed. So like I mentioned previously, this is not a guaranteed chance that you will get a blighted map. It's just in short more chance that you can get a blighted map. But yeah, this chance is actually pretty good and is very valuable in my opinion. Yep. The next will be Immune Response. Blight encounters in areas spawn 100% more non-unique monsters, and they spawn 150% faster. In short, you complete the blight faster for this. Okay, the next one, I took Probing for Weakness. Areas have 10% chance to contain Breach and Flash Breach here. Breach in areas spawn 10 additional rare monsters, and the area open and close 50% faster. So the last two actually is optional. I just took this because there really isn't nothing better to take already. Yeah, but the main thing here is the blight maps are just extremely valuable. In my opinion, this is one of the best maps to run for currency, which I will talk a little bit more later on. Okay, the Uncharted Realms. Specifically, I took all these notes basically is to farm for Shaper and then a little bit of Elder if you are interested, but mainly on Shaper, and the bonus will be for Cyrus farming. So the first one will be Remnants of the Past. Unique bosses have 3% chance to draw an Elder Garden map or a Shaper Guardian map. So if you get a Shaper Guardian map, good for you. You can just run the map and get the fragments. And if you get a Elder Guardian map, it's entirely up to you if you want to do, but yeah, they both can be sold for quite a great deal of currency. So the next will be Gaze into the Abyss. The Elder has 10% more chance to drop a Watcher's Eye, and Shaper drops 3 additional Shaper items. So I think we are mainly aiming for this, where the Shaper drops 3 additional Shaper items. Yeah, because we don't really do Elder at this point of time. Elder is more of a RNG chance. Okay, the next will be Guardian's Aid. Shaper and Elder Guardians are healed and joined by ally on first reaching 33% life, and allies have chance to drop their unique items and fragment. So these allies basically means, let's just say if I were to do a Minotaur map and the Minotaur reach 33% life, the Minotaur will be fully healed and it can be joined by either the Hydra, Phoenix or Chimera, any one of them, and they have a chance to drop their unique items and fragment. So this is the valuable passive skill over here. This is the one that make a great ton of currency and upkeeping your Shaper runs. Okay, the last two I took Adept Tracker. 25% chance on completing a map influenced by a conqueror. In short, you just have chance to continue the influence progression more faster towards their citadel. And the last one, Thaumaturgical Awakening. This is hard to pronounce, sorry. So yeah, Cyrus the Awakener has 50% chance of dropping an Awaken support gem. So this two is actually just a bonus. You can just change whatever you want, but the more important passive notes to take is the first three, as we are focusing more on Shaper, Elder and Cyrus farming. And by the way, this is very mainly for Carrion Golem builds. So if you guys are farming other, if you guys are doing other builds, then you can just mix and match other stuffs. Yeah, but this is mainly for Carrion Golem. Okay, so now on to my opinions and thoughts. Basically, the good maps to farm are Lex Ejoris. Here you can farm for cluster jewels and unique cluster jewels. Like I mentioned earlier, if you get some of the unique cluster jewels, they are actually quite pricey. They can fetch about 2 to 5 exalts. And if you just happen to get 8 passive skill minion cluster jewel, it is very expensive now. It costs about 1x just for the base. It is a good money as well. So yeah, again, in addition, if you encounter the compulsive hoarder with scarabs or currency, the value outcome of the map that you're gonna run is just super good. It's just too valuable. Okay, and the next one, Lira Arthain, like I mentioned, to me this is probably the best map to run. Also, if you want to ensure that the blight encounters 100%, just use a rusted blight scarab to ensure that there will always be a blight encounter. If I remember correctly, my last check, the rusted blight scarab costs about 10 to 12 chaos. So yeah, not a bad deal, because for 10 to 12 chaos you get a guaranteed blight. And yeah, blight mats are extremely expensive now. A T14 onwards blight mat can fetch up to or even more than 50 chaos. It is very expensive. So probably let's just say even if you buy 5 rusted blight scarab, which costs nearly 50 chaos, I am pretty sure like among the 5 of them you will get at least 2 blight maps. Yeah, you can already foresee the value over there. It's just too good. And we are talking about just the blight maps now. We are not even including the currencies or the special uniques that you might get from the blight encounters. Yeah, just so much value in Lira Arthain map now. Okay, the next one will be Haewark Hamlet. So yeah, if you need some harvest crafting from your items, since the harvest changes, it actually appears very often now. Yeah, and let's just say if you get lucky and you get the augment critical, it is very expensive. You can actually sell this on the Discord chat for about minimum of 5 exalts. Is around that price now. Like even some desperate people might offer 7 to 8 exalts, depending on how desperate are they and how lucky you are. So yeah, the additional thing will be the ritual, which is quite valuable, as rare items can just appear now and then. I think some of you might have actually seen from the previous league, people are getting mirrors or multiple exalts as a ritual reward. So yeah, who knows, if you get a mirror, probably you can just farm for your best build that you always wanted to try and rest for the next league. Okay, so the bad maps to farm, which I think is a complete waste of time. First will be New Vastir. Like, people, I have no idea what are you doing farming here. There is seriously no value over here. You're gonna farm the Legion here that is dropping nearly nothing other than the splitters, and yeah, there's really nothing to farm over here. Probably you just get the most 1 chaos from running the full map, and at the cost of what your red tier maps of T14 or higher, which is going to cost you like more than 10 chaos. Yeah, so what is this? You're making a deficit of 9 chaos per run. You're losing money on your end here. Okay, so the next is Valdo Rest. Yeah, after Harbinger nerf, I think this map is actually very bad. So there isn't a reason to farm Harbinger anymore, and if you want to farm maps, I have shown you Lira Arthain is definitely the better one to farm. Okay, and Lex Proxima. If you want to farm harvest, Haewark Hamlet has a better one, and the pure bridgestones is nearly impossible to drop. Like I mentioned, you need to run about 100 maps to get 1 on probability, which is just ridiculous. I mean, this is just a probability, so estimated is around there, but yeah, there really isn't much value there. I mean, it is not a bad map to run. It is not as bad as these two, but there are better options, definitely. Okay, on to the Uncharted Realms. So like I mentioned previously, rush to get the first 6 passive skills. This is including the small one, so therefore you have 6. And this is going to be most of your earnings, where your earnings will come from. Basically, you just kill as much Hydra, Minotaur, Phoenix and Chimera, then you proceed on to do the Shaper and just pray for the best. Yeah, so you do the full runs of the Shaper Guardians, and eventually just do the Maven's Invitation, the form over here. And in the Maven's Invitation, every 2 of the Guardians will spawn at a time. Whenever you kill one, the next will start to appear. So yeah, for some of the league starter base, it can be actually quite difficult to do. So if you're unable to do, try to farm out some of your equipments first. Otherwise, you can try and not run on rare or alchemy maps. You can always run them on magic tier maps at the very least. Or even if you don't want, I wouldn't recommend white maps, as in white tier, just plain, but at least run on a magic tier. You can always use the Scour to the Maven's Invitation, the form, and then just transmutation in. I think it's fine for starters. So yeah, if some of the maps are too hard like the Guardians as well, you can do the same. Okay, and Cyrus will be a bonus as you progress the maps for completion. Like, this is literally bonus. Or like, you know, if we are just bored or too tired of farming the Guardians or Shapers, you want to take a break from it and farm some other stuffs, sure, you can just run the map and do Cyrus. Like, who knows, man, you might even get lucky and get a Awaken multi-strike support gem and just hit the jackpot. Like, Awaken multi-strike support gem is probably going to be one of the always the most expensive Awaken gems. Yep. Okay, we've come to the end of the video. So hopefully this guide can help you to progress and farm your currency better. Like I say again, this is just my own opinion and favorites. I felt that this is the better ones and some of the worst maps to farm. You can always just pause the video anytime and just have a look and change the maps. But yeah, no doubt, definitely Lira Arthain is one of the, or I should say, the very popular maps to farm now, because bright maps are just insanely expensive. Like, the value coming out from them is just so good. Yeah, so okay, thank you for watching this video. If you would like to see more videos and contents, please do help to hit the like and subscribe button. I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.